Faith Under the Lights podcast. Make sure to subscribe and share.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Faith Under the Lights podcast. Really excited to bring to you another athlete interview. This time it's Miss Hailey Pierce, who happens to be a senior cheerleader at Amant High School here at Amant, Louisiana. And Hailey shares her story with us. And it's about experiencing some tremendous loss that would be really tough for anybody to overcome. And she experienced that loss at a very, very young age in a critical time in her life. And she talks about the dark path that it took her down, and how she responded to it, and the experiences that she had and what she did after that loss. But then she also talks about, getting linked up with the right people. And let me tell you, this is so important, who you surround yourself with. And I think this story really highlights that because it changed her life, because ultimately it led her to Christ and having an encounter with Christ. And then, she talks about her life after that and the influence that she's had on the people around her after that. And it's just an amazing story. She's an incredibly strong young lady. And she is just a light for the Lord in the area that she's in. And so I really want you to dig in, check this one out. We can learn a lot from it. And I'm just excited that she was able to share this. So Hailey Pierce from Amant, Louisiana. Tell us who you are.
My name's Hailey Pierce. I'm a student at Amant High School. I'm a senior this year. And I, for the most part, just do cheer, but also work at a couple different places.
Yeah. So, senior, Amant, how long have you been doing cheerleading?
12 years.
12 years. And so you do it at Amant, but you also do it competitively, right? And so we'll get into that a little bit later. But one of the things that we like to do here is we like to find out, how you came to know Jesus, how you became a Christian, and what that's been like. And so tell us, where it was, like, how did you get introduced to Jesus Christ, and what was there something that happened in your life where you started following Christ? Tell us a little bit about that. Give us your story.
So my story pretty much starts in 2019. So my whole family was down from Illinois for Christmas. That's where my dad's family was from. So they all came down during Christmas to visit us. And so one night my dad and his dad, they were like, we're going to go hang out, do guy stuff, be random. And that night we found out that my dad and my pawpaw passed away. And it was mainly like a shock to all of us because we had already had one loss that morning. So we were like, oh, nothing else bad can happen today, right?
Oh, really?
So we were like, it's fine. Like, nothing's going to happen. So we got that news that night. And my dad was like my absolute best friend in the whole world. I did everything with him. Everyone knew, like, I was a mini version of him. Like, I had the same attitude. I did the same things. It was just always that. And so that day I felt like I lost my whole world. Yeah. Like, the person I've always looked up to, the person I wanted to be, he was just gone. And I knew, like, before they even told me that he was gone. And so for the next couple of, like, months, it was just like pity all the time. It was sad all the time. And eventually I, like, met with this group of people. And as I was meeting this group of people, more and more people from my family were dying. My mom committed suicide. My other mom had a heart attack. I had a couple of aunts pass away from heart attacks or just old age, stuff like that. Had friends pass away. And it got to the point where, like, me and my family were keeping, like, track in our notes. Yeah. Because we couldn't, like, remember everything anymore. So as all of this was going on, I felt like I had absolutely nothing. My world was broken apart. I had no family. Like, all the family I had was in front of me. Me, my sister, my mom, and my two brothers. That was it. And so I hung out with this group. They got me into alcohol. They got me into vaping. They got me into all this other kind of stuff that I was like, in the moment, it's making me feel great because I'm like, I don't feel anything anymore. But it would only last for so long because in the morning, my mom comes to pick me up and now I'm trying to hide everything from her. And I think that was the hardest part from it because I knew my mom was all I had left. Yeah. So that kind of broke us apart because she obviously knew what I was doing, but I was never telling her anything. I was very cold. Like, nobody could get through to me. I became such a terrible person. And like, I even say it now, like, to all the people who I was friends with and I'm not friends with anymore, or I'm like just now becoming friends with. I'm like, I am so sorry for how I was. I am so sorry.
Let me ask you this: before your father passed away, what was your faith like before all of that? Coming up and how old were you when that happened again?
12.
You were 12. So before he passed away, what was your relationship with Jesus like? Was it existent, non-existent, a little bit?
We were the family that's like, we all believed in God, but we didn't like go to church. We didn't act upon it. It was just like, we believed in God. We knew there was God, but it was nothing really more than that.
So you lose your father, you lose multiple people in your family that are pretty close to you, I'd imagine. And some of them in very tragic ways. And then you start going down that path of the alcohol and the vaping and things like that. So trying to hide that stuff is difficult, right?
Yeah.
So, and I like what you said about, it would make you numb to what you were feeling, but then it doesn't last, right? And so pick us up from there and keep going.
So I was in that path for about 2 or 3 years. I was hanging out with the same people. And then I made the high school cheer team. And that's whenever my path truly started to change. I stopped really hanging out with them because now I had my cheer friends. And I was an all-star cheer at the time, but all those friends lived like 30 minutes to 2 hours away from me. Yeah. So it's not like I could just like hang out with them, especially since I couldn't drive. And so I became friends with like my high school cheer friends. And that's what like truly changed me around. And then moving on, like freshman Christmas that year, my aunt had gifted me a Bible. Me and my sister, she gifted us both Bibles. And I never owned a Bible before. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. But since then, I was like, I feel weird. Like, I feel like I have to read this. I don't know. And so I started reading it. I think I started in John or Samuel. Yeah. And so I started reading there, and I didn't understand what it was telling me, but I knew I was reading it. And so that January, the next month, my friend Abby had invited me to go to the church's conference. And I was like, I'll go after practice. I have nothing else to do. Yeah. So I went, and I didn't know what I was doing. Everyone was like running in. They were worshiping, screaming, yelling. And I was like, guys, I don't know what to do here. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. So everything that Abby was saying, I was saying. What she was doing, I was doing. If they bowed their heads, my head was bowed. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I came back the next day. I was there all day. And the first service that we had, it was touching. I was still doing whatever they were doing because I couldn't really tell the difference anymore. Yeah. And second service went by, same thing. Third service, I truly felt something different. And I wish I could remember who was speaking, but their message really spoke to me. And so whenever we went into worship after that, I truly gave my life to God. I was like, I don't want to live this life anymore. Like, show me how I can be different.
So was it like did they call for a response? Did they say something like raise your hand, something like that? Or you just felt it in your spirit, sitting in your seat that it was time?
I just felt something. I was like, they were like, you need to come to Jesus. And so I was like, okay, I'm doing it, I guess. Let me find out how to do this. And so a couple months later, Fellowship held a conference kind of thing. I think they call it Refuge. So my friend Brooklyn invited me to that. And so I went and did that with her. And I think I have the date as like March 4th. I'll remember it. And that's the day like I got saved. Gotcha. So the next month I went and got baptized. And from there, I kept on growing my relationship with God. And I was just like, I'm fully devoted now. Yeah. Now my whole family comes to church with me, or not necessarily with me, but they go to the church. We have to go to different services because of sports, but they're all going. They're all like active in the church. For a while, it was just me, but then my little sister and then my mom and my brother came, and it was just truly touching. And now my brother, who lives in Texas, is going to a church, even though we're not even right there with him.
So they started seeing the things that you were doing and the changes it made in your life. Because obviously, when Jesus comes into your heart, it It changes you. Like that's when you really know it's real, when there's change. But I love the evidence that happens when, you start living your life differently, and you're really doing it for you, but you don't realize how many people you're impacting. And so from what you did and the change that you had, that's how your family starts coming and things like that. So that's pretty awesome. What are some things that you do now? And this is totally off. I didn't give you any warning about this one. What are some things that you do now that help you keep and maintain your relationship with Jesus and keep you grounded in that?
I think holding my tongue is a really big one.
Yeah.
There is a whole bunch of conflicts in my family, especially with my little sister being so close to my age. We love to bicker. We love to. And we used to just like get in it whenever, neither of us were this way. Mm. And so now it's just like we have to hold our tongues. Yeah. She sometimes doesn't. I sometimes don't. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. But like mainly now we both have to realize we're just like, not right now. This is the time. We have to cool down. Like there's definitely a better way to go about this. So what's your time with God look like? You have a routine that you're in, or so tell us a little bit about that, because there might be some people out there. And the reason we do these things is, because there's other cheerleaders out there that have gone through stuff that you've went through. They're going through a tough spot and they're wanting to know, how do I get out of it? And so that the reason that we've started doing this podcast is to show them, hey, this is how this person did it. And so hopefully there's some cheerleaders out there, or young ladies that are your age and that have been through some things. What are some things that work for Hailey on a daily basis that keep you connected? So during like school, I wake up at 5 a.m. I don't leave until 7, but I wake up at 5 a.m. and I spend that first hour just with the Lord. Either if I'm listening to worship music, if I'm reading my Bible, I'm doing something to glorify God, because that's what we're called to do. Yes. And then on the weekends, I either read my Bible at night or in the morning. I don't like to read less than an hour. Yeah. I feel like if I'm dedicating so much time to everything else, I need to dedicate more time to God. That's so good. Like, I don't remember which pastor said this, but he said, if you're spending more time in one thing than you're spending time with God, then you're idolizing that over God. Yeah. And so I was like, ooh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I need to do that. And then regarding like what I do with my family, because I also feel like having that connection with God and your family is really strong. So like part of it is, now my mom's my best friend. I make sure at least one point throughout the day, I'm making her have a conversation about God with me. Yeah. Like we're talking about something involving God, involving church, something. Yeah. So it's just involving God into your daily life, like how you talk about him, how you worship him, how you read about him, and how you know him, especially journaling. I like to journal a lot.
That's a big one for me. Yeah. So that was the game changer for me, was journaling. Our pastor talks about all the things that he does, and he always mentioned journaling. C groups and journaling was the two things that he always talked about. And it was the two things that I was like, I don't need to do that. And, but I finally got out of my own way. And when I started a prayer journal, and it is a complete game changer. Just writing my prayers down. I felt like before I started doing that, when I would pray, I felt like and this probably wasn't happening, but just me, it was feeling like this, that my prayers would go up and hit the ceiling and just fall back down. And for whatever reason, when I write them down, I feel so connected in that he's listening to me and he hears me. And on the other side of that is that I can go back. Now I have a record of the things that I prayed for, and I have a record of the things that, where God answered me, because he always say yes, right? We got to be ready for a no. But yeah, journaling was a game changer for me. What's your go-to worship song right now? For me, it changes all the time. But right now, what's on your playlist?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
You have a favorite artist?
Probably like Brandon Lake. Yes. I love his songs.
So good, yeah. You say they just put that new one out with Elevation Worship. That's really good. Him and Phil Wickham. Just had some friends of mine that went and saw him in Houston, and I was very, very jealous of that. They said it was amazing. But yeah, it's worship music has been a real big thing for me too. So those are three things: a C group, which I just left to come to this, having people around you that are walking the same path as you has been really, really helpful for me. So it sounds like you got some of that going on with you. Tell us a little bit about cheerleading. How did you get into cheerleading?
So I got into cheer because I had a friend, Brianna. She passed away from cancer. And so she always did cheer. And that's what got me and my brother involved in it. So we started at the smaller gym. And the next year we went to a bigger gym. And my sister came along with us. So that's how I started all-star cheer. And school cheer, I was just like, I've always done cheer. So why not do it again, you know? So
what do you like the most about cheer? Are you one of the ones that gets thrown all the way in the air and stuff? No. That's not you. No. What is it about cheer that really, really you enjoy the most?
It's all the friendships. I mean, you're on a team with almost 30 new people, or at school, like 10 new people a year. And like, it's all the different personalities you get to meet. Some of them you're going to get closer to, some not. But like, you know that those people are going to be your sisters for the rest of your life. Like, you will always be able to go to them. So
you're a senior at Santa Mall, Friday Night Lights. Does that pump you up? Because I know from a football player's perspective, I've coached high school football. I've been around football for a little while. I know the feeling that we would get on Friday nights, you know, before we go to play the game. Now, full throttle, I was never a football player. Okay. So I don't want somebody to call me out. Oh, you never played football. I didn't. But I did coach, and those Friday nights going into those games, it's unmatched, the feeling. Is it the same for a cheerleader?
I think so. Yeah. We're just as excited. We're maybe not as nervous because, I mean, we're not the ones playing. We're just cheering y'all on. Yeah. But it's definitely exciting, and it's nerve-wracking whenever it's like right there and you don't know what's going to happen. It's like we feel the same way.
Do you cheer for football and basketball?
Yes, sir.
They do the same thing for both? Good. What's the difference between high school cheer and then the competitive cheer that you do? Are you still with All-Star cheer? Yeah. So what's the difference in the two, and how are they similar?
So I say the biggest difference is that All-Star cheer is definitely more active, and the bond you get with the girls is a lot closer. Gotcha. I mean, you spend a lot of time with them. Like, I think last year the most time I spent with with a group of them is like 20 hours straight. Yeah. Like, we are always together. You have to be close to each other. I mean, you're going out of state with each other. You're spending all this time together. It's like, that's who you have to be closest with. Yeah. At school cheer, you're not necessarily as close. You're still close, but it's definitely because everyone's in high school. We're all at the same high school. There's definitely a lot more cliques and things that separate us from trying to get as close. Yeah. And it's just learning how to trying to bring All-Star into that is sometimes just a little bit harder. Yeah.
Is it harder, the skill level that you have to be at? Is it harder on the competition side than it is in high school?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing to maybe share what Jesus is to you within your teams? Is there something that you guys are doing? Is it just you? Is it a team effort? How does that look?
So I'll start with school cheer. At school cheer, I think my sophomore year, I started going in the end zone, our end zone, and I would just pray. And then as that went on, I had one girl join me, and the next game it was 2, next game it was 3, and now it's pretty much the whole team, we circle up and we pray before the game starts. Because, I mean, prayer is stronger than anything. Right. So that's something that we do. And then at All-Star cheer, it's kind of always been a thing that you circle up and pray before you compete or you do a full out. But now it's if we're scared to do something, then we bend down. We literally get on our knees and we pray. We're like, Lord, help us, give us strength to do this. Or if we're having even a difficult time, because I definitely feel like at All-Star cheer, because we're so close, drama gets heightened whenever there is some. So we take a minute. We say take a lap, and we'll take a lap around the floor, and we'll pray to ourselves and just sit in silence and let it mellow out.
Yeah. I need to do that with my kids. Y'all go take a lap real quick. Has there been any kind of relationships that have budded out of, your faith and then also being involved with cheer? Has there been any that have decided, hey, let me go check out your church, or let me go to your group and do that? Is there FCA at your church that you're involved, at your school that you're involved in, stuff like that? Talk about some of those things.
So For All-Star Cheer, whenever I got baptized, I had a couple of friends come to my baptism. And so some of them go to churches out where they live. My best friend goes to a Catholic church. So they do that. And then at school, I'm an FCA leader and I'm also part of Next Gen. So helping like bring my teammates, like we'll send text messages and be like, hey, FCA is this Friday. I really want to see y'all there. So, and just trying to like bring in everybody that we can and just encourage them to listen to God.
What do you have to do? You know, you're walking on campus and everything and you're a Christian. Is there things that you have to catch yourself from maybe saying or doing? You know, what is that? How hard is that? You know, is there a lot of pressure of, you know, trying to show everybody, not necessarily show everybody, but actually walk it out in public, in a public school? What's that like?
I think the hardest part is whenever like someone says or does something in the hallway and I hear it and I'm just, like, my biggest issue is my face. My face will always say it all. And so I have to be like, nope, I just got to keep smiling. Like I have to keep smiling. Every time I walk in the hallways, I'm smiling. I compliment at least 5 people a day. That's my rule to myself. I have to compliment 5 people a day. So definitely trying to hide my facial reactions whenever someone says or does something.
Yeah. My wife has that. It's like sometimes I'll look at her, I'm like, are you upset right now? No. And then if I keep asking her if she's upset, then she gets upset. But her face says, you know, she's upset. So that might be just something that ladies might struggle with. I don't know. I'm always smiling, so I'm not any better than y'all. But anyway, what are some of the challenges that you face? You know, as a teenager, as a senior in high school, what are some of the challenges that you face that might get you kind of, you know, walking the line a little bit and, you know, are there anything like that happens throughout the day?
I think the hardest part is like knowing it's my senior year and it's like, yes, I want to have a lot of fun. It's my senior year, but it's also like trying to make sure I'm not trying to fit in with a cool group of people and not trying to like push myself as far as I can go to be like them without disrespecting God, because if you're still trying to push that way, then I am disrespecting God. Yeah. So it's definitely trying to like not involve myself in something I know I shouldn't be involved in. Yeah.
I think that goes back to your identity, who you are, who Christ says you is. That's a big thing. And for kids your age, or young, I hate to say kids, young people your age, to know who you are and what God says that you are and not what the world says you are. It's a big deal. And I know, you know, Alex Franklin, we interviewed her not too long ago and she was talking about that. And she said that, you know, that she's a D1 college softball player. But first and foremost is she's a child of God, you know, and softball is just what she does. Right. And I thought that was huge. And I share that statement all the time. What do you want to maybe leave behind for the young ladies that are coming up behind you on that cheer team or in high school or in your FCA groups? What's something that you want to give them that maybe they can build on and strengthen themselves?
I feel like my biggest thing throughout high school has definitely been like dealing with a lot of critique and drama. Mm-hmm. And so my biggest thing is like never forgetting who you were to begin with. Oh, that's good. Because once you start trying to change yourself, something or someone is going to happen to you and your world's going to be flipped upside down. Yeah. So remembering that if you go back to who you are, go back to who God says you are, go back to the morals and ethics that God has given you, and you're going to be okay. That's good. At the end of the day, you don't need everyone to like you because not everyone likes Jesus. Yeah. But if you know that God is happy with you, then you should be happy with yourself. That's
good. That's Pastor Terry, who leads my C group. He says it's position versus progression. You know, your position is at the foot of the cross, and you're going to progress. And sometimes you're going to mess up, and you're going to fall off. But if you always can come back to where your position is at the cross, you can't go wrong, right? And so that's big. Is there any last thoughts that you want to share with us? I know you summed it up right there pretty good, but. Are you planning on maybe cheering in college or anything like that?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. It's definitely a thought, but as I think about it more, I just don't know if it's going to be the right step because also I coach at a middle school and I coach at a cheer gym. So I just don't know if also throwing another thing of cheer on that is going to be right to me. I don't know if it's going to be right for my relationship with God because college cheer is a lot busier than anything else cheer-wise I have done. Yeah. And so I don't think it will be fair if I do that, because I also have 5 jobs. So
wow.
I need to find a way to make sure that God is a priority in my life.
Yeah.
And I definitely have an issue with prioritizing cheer.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good deal. Hailey, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. So there it is, Hailey Pierce from Santa Monica, Louisiana. Such a great story, such a powerful story of just coming back from tragedy and finding Jesus and letting Him lead you. So a lot of people can learn from that. I know I took a lot from it, and I'm just very impressed by her energy and the way she carries herself. And so a lot of big things coming in the very near future for Miss Hailey. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Faith Under the Lights podcast. Make sure to subscribe and share.